So I'll present a bit more about Endeavour Group, probably because we're probably less well known than some of the other guys presenting today. Sorry, it's my first time on Teams. Give me, please. Okay, so Endeavour Group is Australia's leading drinks and hospitality business. In Australia, you cannot sell alcohol in the same place as the supermarket. So what this has created is, standalone drinks brands and drinks retailers. We're composed of two main parts. One is retail, which is a kind of a group of drinks retailers fulfilling different drinks missions for customers. And the other part is our hotels business, which, whilst it's called the hotels business, probably more of the focus for us is around food and beverage and gaming, as much as it is the accommodation part of that part of the business. We have about 50% or so of the drinks retail market, about 1,600 stores, and online. There's a large focus on online. We're growing that at about 50%. The hotels obviously took there were some issues with a lot of lockdowns and closures for periods of time in Australia, but the hotels business still did actually very well throughout F20 and F21. Supporting these two parts of the business is probably two other really important pieces. One is Pinnacle Drinks, which is our own internal drinks company, like an internal AB InBev or an internal Diageo, if you will. And the other is Endeavour X, another X, which is similar function to what ICA X does. We look at digital fulfillment, loyalty propositions, and we oversee also the trading operations for the online business. As mentioned, we were part of the Woolworths group up until July this year. We demerged. It was planned for earlier, but COVID caused a delay. Woolworths Group is largest retailer in Australia and I think in the top 20 for groceries globally. They were going after a kind of brand positioning of health, freshness, family values, whereas the Endeavour part of the business is drinks and gambling. So there was, alongside many other reasons why it made sense for us to remain in partnership, but to move on our own paths. That's probably the easiest to explain. We still work very closely with them, and we still share a lot of infrastructure and partnerships. But I mean, another one of the key distinctions there is grocery shopping is sustenance. It's something you have to do, whereas drinks buying is more leisure and pleasure. So the shopping mission and mindset is also quite different when we start getting deeper into our transformation there. This is our kind of strategy on a page. Our purpose, creating a more sociable future together. We've tried to have something that sits across both of our parts of the business and is more than just selling drinks or just providing rooms for gambling. It's around linking communities and around providing moments and opportunities for customers to be social together. And that's split into kind of three areas: business, strategy, and culture. Business, knowing our customer, and that's all around understanding more about our customer and evolving how we understand, and then using that understanding to create more engagement and better customer experience. Continually innovating to meet our customer needs, so growing our digital engagement, expanding out and improving our network across Australia, and also optimizing our team experience and our diversity of team as well. And then in terms of culture, which I will come back to when we talk about how we like to engage with partners, our values about being real, inclusive, responsible, and our ways of working with spirit and energy, team players, and always trying to improve. Here's just a couple of examples of where our footprint is and kind of our growth trajectory. We have 246 large format stores, which are under the brand of Dan Murphy's, and nearly 1,400. And this goes up all the time, so these numbers may be give or take 5 or 10 out of date. But about nearly 1,400 BWS stores, 332 hotels. We have bottling facilities, and we have 4 wineries, 1 in New Zealand and 3 in Australia. And here's just an example of our growth trajectory over the last 20 years. Going into the main brand. So Dan Murphy's, where there's 250 large format stores between 500 meters and 3,000 square meters. Household brand. Dan Murphy himself, although he doesn't exist, he's not alive anymore. He still gets marriage proposals on Twitter. Largest range of alcohol and proactive price guarantee. Dan Murphy's also has around 50% of all alcohol traffic going through its in Australia going through its website. BWS, which has many more stores, much smaller format. About a third or just over a third are attached to a supermarket or next to one of our Woolworths supermarkets. We have a few hundred drive-through stores, which we're evolving we're continually trying to evolve our drive-through experience on. And then we have what could be called kind of local stores that are in more residential or high street communities. Then you've got the ALH Group, which is the kind of the largest on-premise venue operator. Main kind of focus there is on the bars, the restaurants and the food, and then the electronic gaming, the live entertainment and the accommodation. One of the areas that we're looking into with the ALH Group is how do we digitize, or how do we explore taking our kind of physical gaming and making it online. More on a few of our numbers. We're probably looking at nearly $1 billion Australian dollars, so probably like $7.75 billion US in online sales for the year, growing at 50%, around 8.5% penetration of total retail sales. Dan Murphy's and BWS, both in revenue and traffic, they are the number 1 and the number 2 in the business, and both of them, whilst working together, are also working on their own e-commerce innovation. So 30 minutes pickup will be in most stores. We do contactless, and we're evolving our pickup and our curbside buy online, pickup in store, buy online, pickup outside of store services. We have most of our stores will have an express delivery capability, and we're constantly evolving that offering also. As well as a really important part of the business and of our profit is our own brands, which are not branded Dan Murphy's or BWS, but they're a company in its own right. 458 awards won, competing in global wine competitions, and we, as mentioned before, we have production, we have bottling, and we have kind of premium wineries. Here's now a couple of visualizations of the areas where we're working on. So if we're starting at the top and moving around, we want to be generating more value from our liquor licenses by leveraging both the hotels and the retail businesses together and creating more synergies between those two, differentiating and our product throughout the hotels and the retail and digital network with Pinnacle Drinks. We have Endeavour X, which has the e-com, loyalty, digital, and our incubator brands within there. We are looking at ways that we can attract more diverse and more advanced digital talent. We've still retained the Woolworths Group partnership, which allows us scale in many areas, and also the ability to leverage and innovate capabilities that we could be testing in some of our smaller incubator brands to then expand out into our larger brands like Dan Murphy's and BWS. And here are kind of the 5 areas where we're looking at focusing, and we're looking at partnering with tech startups. One is around growing in digital engagement. Whilst we have an extremely high market share of 50% or so in total, we're not quite at that. We're not quite at the amount of market share that we would like in online. There's a lot more kind of smaller niche players in that area. So constantly increasing our e-com market share to align with what we have in bricks and mortar, improving our digital offering, and deploying services into places maybe where we don't have stores yet, or where don't have access to the same range that more densely populated areas in Australia do, and making digital the front door to all the brands, including our hotels business. Expanding out our network, expanding out our catchment areas that we can support with Dan Murphy's and with BWS, because there may be customer crossover, but what those brands do is they fulfill a different shopping mission. The way that you may shop for a quick bottle on your way home to have with dinner is a very different mindset to when you're shopping for to stock up your cellar, or you're shopping for an event. And then also expanding our incubator brands and leveraging existing infrastructure there. Expanding our product range and reach, so responding to and driving emerging drinks trends, leveraging our internal company Pinnacle, and growing kind of the resonance of Pinnacle, and using that to both, as well as drive project profit through vertical integration, but also drive the exclusivity of our products for Endeavour, enhancing our existing footprint, and also enhancing our efficiencies. So how do we make our unit economics in ecom better? Different way to kind of articulate some of those, and some other key strategic questions can be grouped into 3 areas. Ensuring our products and brands meet the needs of younger customers. So this is around low alcohol, ultra convenience, constantly evolving what that means, and sustainability. Deeper engagement with these customers as and where they engage. Some examples of this are trends around, say, live streaming, social commerce, social proofing, and then continual investment in the kind of the on-demand, or the now phenomenon with these groups. Continuing to lead in responsible alcohol service and responsible gaming. We like to stay ahead of the regulation and even influence and drive it. And this could include, but not limited to, facial recognition tech, automated intoxication tech, or self-exclusion in terms of gambling. So how do we better create a safe and secure environment for our teams? Automated excessive drinking or gambling triggers, and anything around this area of responsible service within the community. And then finally, evolving our omni-channel and omni-brand experience for our customers. So what are the next stages for our personalization using our single customer view? What does that mean for single view of product, or single view of product data, single view of pricing and pricing promotion, becoming data-led across the entire organization, new revenue streams such as retail media, better e-com and fulfillment unit economics, and digital online capabilities in-store, online in-store experience equivalents online, etc. How do we blend the lines there, and involving our search into visual and voice. In terms of how we've partnered in the past, a lot of what we had been doing was kind of like catching up from our point of view, or laying the foundation. So a lot of the startups that we had worked with were kind of big enough that they had a few big clients already, but small enough so they were hungry enough so that they were willing to go outside of the market where they were to come to Australia, and hungry enough to be exploring new markets like that. We're at a stage now where a lot of what we're looking at is more than just kind of getting us into the 2021, 2022. It's how do we drive competitive advantage? How do we lead and exceed customer expectations? So we're looking more now at partnering with earlier stage startups that we can grow and learn with. We focus a lot on cultural fit and teams and people that we want to work with when we're evaluating startups or evaluating partners. we've got a few examples of which we recently onboarded a new search of the service function, and there's actually quite a few players in the market here, and a lot of them, when we ran kind of like simulation pilots with a group of them, and there wasn't huge differences in performance, and what really decided it for the team was how we would be able to work with these people, and what their roadmap was, and how we could learn and grow together.
Benjamin, we need to move to this next part, so just few last words if you can.
Okay, well, I was pretty much done if you'd given me 5 more seconds there, Oren. But I mean, another example was our single customer view partner, and again, a lot of the success with those has been around cultural fit as well. So that's all from me. Please reach out, and I look forward to speaking to some of you soon.